The building behind me represents the old way of building wealth. The playbook used to be simple. Go to a top-tier school, apply for a job in a high-paying tech company, build a company yourself, a Web2 SaaS company, get funded by high-esteemed VCs, and pray for an exit. But what if I told you the entire traditional tech and finance playbook is starting to look like a massive trap? You're building 80 hours a week to build equity on platforms that are built by 5 major monopolies in a fiat currency that's losing its value every month. If the smartest minds in the last decade have built centralized empires, the smartest minds today are tearing them down. What if I told you that it was smart for you to step out of the traditional Web2 arena and build this instead? By the way, I'm Sahib, an unsung a serial entrepreneur, and through Pandora, I help the largest Web3 companies scale narratives, communities, and global adoption. I am not a trader, nor am I a crypto influencer. In fact, I'm not here to promote any tokens and use you as an exit liquidity. I am an operator by heart and essentially in the trenches, building, advising, scaling, and working with the top-notch founders out there to scale their company. And today, I want to speak to you about where the real wealth transfer is happening. Right now, the world is facing a massive structural shift. On one hand, you have traditional finance systems that are drowning in debt, printing money to keep the lights on. On the other hand, you have AI that's moving at such a fast pace, commoditizing traditional software and white-collar work. If you are building a traditional company, you are fighting gravity. You can be deplatformed overnight. You're raising money from institutions that literally want to own you. This isn't financial system broken. It's designed exactly the way it's supposed to be, where they want the value to be at the very top. They want to own you. So where do you go? If you ask a traditional financial advisor, they will say buy an index fund. If you ask a traditional VC, they'll ask you to build a company on some AI LLM wrapper. But look at the smartest operators right now. They are moving on-chain. These are not your typical meme coin traders, but these are builders that are building the financial infrastructure on the internet. They are building the decentralization network of what we will be using in the very near future. In fact, already using it. They are bringing back the power to the hands of the communities instead in the boardrooms of Silicon Valley. But here's the absolute truth of building in Web3. You cannot do it alone. Crypto is a global market and moves 24/7. The difference between scaling a business or a project to a billion-dollar company and the one that dies within a few weeks or months is literally who you have in your corner. In Web3, your network is your liquidity. And that's why I act as the head of APAC at introduction.com, where we connect high networks, putting elite founders with strategic investors and partners that they actually need. You don't need to be sending cold emails out anymore because you want to be connected to the right people by the right people. And this is where we want to add value to your network by bringing all these people in one room together. But here's the hardest part for founders entering crypto. Where do you actually learn to play the game? You can't go to universities. An MBA from Harvard isn't going to teach you how you build narratives and communities in a bear market. It's not going to teach you how to speak to KOLs, advisors, and supporters in the early days. It's not going to teach you how you generate tokenomics and a successful company. And if you are looking to learn on crypto Twitter, you are being exposed to low quality signals from hype-driven influencers and outright scams. When I started building in the space, I was completely exhausted by the noise and the distraction that was all around me. I wanted to hear from people that are in the arena, the founders, the investors, the builders, the ones that are actually building through the bear market and successfully exiting their companies eventually. That is why I built the based show, completely stripped off the hype. In fact, we don't even talk about which token is going to pump tomorrow. We cover founders that are actually building the next structural shift on the internet. We want to go right deep into the founders' background, what they're building, the failures, the strategic shifts from Web2 to Web3, the playbook that they use for success, and what it takes to build a successful company in crypto. These are the raw stories behind the scenes that you will never get exposed to otherwise. The infrastructure for the next 100 years is being built on the internet. You can be a commentator and sit on the sidelines, watch this transfer of wealth happening right in front of you, or walk into the arena, be part of it, have a skin in the game, actually see what's happening behind the scenes, and build for that next 100 years. What are you going to build? If you are a founder, an operator, or just someone that wants high signal insights, this is your time to click the subscribe button. Watch the latest episode, tell me in the comments, and let me know what are your bottlenecks. Let's solve it together.